All right, Wade, here we are. Back to the subject at hand. You said that Roman Reigns wasn't quite there yet, and I agree. He's not quite there yet. Although he has improved in the ring, he's had two stellar matches with AJ Styles, and again, I give Roman Reigns all the credit for carrying his into that match. Styles is a tremendous worker. Roman has a tremendous look. What is he lacking, Wade? Where's the missing connection? I know there's the heat from the way he's been booked, and some people think that he's just been shoved down their throats, or it's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Entitled. But he just hasn't connected the way Vince wants him to. What is missing, in your opinion, with this young man?
Yeah, I mean, there is something missing. I mean, there is. I was at Extreme Rules on Sunday in New Jersey and Newark and watched the women pop up when Roman Reigns was introduced, and a bunch of husbands and boyfriends sitting next to him with their arms crossed, looking embarrassed, And then when AJ was introduced, they went bonkers, the same way they did for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Cesaro earlier. They're not that's a big part of the fan base. 18 to 49 males, Steve, is a big target you want happy with your brand.
But dude, I used to say the same thing about Shawn Michaels when I was trying to explain my demographic, and the same thing with Shawn Michaels. I mean, many times he worked heel for a long time, but a lot of guys, he was such a good-looking guy that they didn't like when their wives or their girlfriends jumped out of their seats, but they were very attracted to him. So same with Reigns. I agree with you there, but the overall connection is deeper than that.
It is, and part of it is Shawn and Brett both earned the respect of fans for years on the tag team scene and the Intercontinental title level. I don't think there'd be this backlash with Roman if he went from the Shield to getting new music, dropping the vest, and coming out on the stage like everybody else. He came across as the privileged chosen one, that he got to keep the Shield music. He kept the Shield gear. He didn't change anything, and he immediately got pushed to the top. Now, Kevin Eck was on my live cast talking about this a few weeks back and said Vince didn't want the fan perception to be that Roman Reigns was a chosen one and that he was getting pushed. Well, I think Vince failed in that regard. I mean, I think fans, whether it was CM Punk saying it on the Coca Cabana podcast or what people watched with their own eyes on TV, they perceived that Reigns was leapfrogging some other people. And that hurt Roman unfairly. But some of this is on Roman. He's had great matches with three of the best workers of this generation. Right. Brock, AJ, and Bryan. He's got to have better matches against guys where he's the better wrestler. And he hasn't done that yet. But every chance on the microphone he has to connect with the crowd, he isn't doing it yet. And so there's something missing both in terms of what he does in the ring and how he carries himself on the microphone, how he carries himself when he's about to talk, much less when he does talk, that still is causing resentment among the male fan base. There is that sense of Roman thinks he's all that, and he gives off that vibe. He's a cool dude, and I think with a tweak, those guys can like him. But I think Roman is not acting like he wants it enough. He's acting like he deserves it instead of he wants it. And it's a hard thing to put your finger on, but it's a difference between the Lex Express tour working and not working. It's a difference between what made Hulk Hogan work and other guys who are given big pushes not work. And there's still something there with Roman that's not there. He has really big moments where you could go, don't give up on the guy. But he's had so many chances to get over as a babyface with that 18 to 49 male demo. And I'm just not seeing progress, even as he works hard and tries to earn it in the ring.
And I thought, early on, organically, you needed to have a monster heel run and go down a similar path that The Rock did. Again, because he came in as a white meat baby face. This kid came in different, but Rock came in as a white meat baby face, and people just shit all over him. And then all of a sudden, he turned into this magnificent heel, and then he became cool, and then he became The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. It was an unbelievable ride. And I said, this kid's going to have to walk through the fire. But, man, just when you say, okay, since everybody hates him or everybody is booing him, and I mean from a wrestling standpoint, not personal or whatever you feel, but you just flip this guy heel, and just because people are booing him now doesn't mean they're going to boo him and mean it, quote unquote, or he won't have real heat just because you switch him heel. So you can boo him now just because you don't like him or you think he's entitled, he hasn't worked hard enough, but you flip him heel, I mean, that'll blow up in your face just as soon as the path that he's on.
I think that would be true in most cases. I think Roman is good enough. This is a compliment to Roman. I think he's good enough and the fans respect him enough that if he plays a role that better fits his personality right now and where he fits into the landscape, if you turn him heel, I don't think fans will go, I don't want to pay to see this guy in the main event. I think people would enjoy booing him. I think if he was cast in a way that better fit people's perception of him, whether it's fair or not or realistic or not, they perceive him a certain way. I think Roman's talented enough that, we see with Baron Corbin and the way he carries himself on Raw and what he did on NXT as that jock athlete who looks down at the overweight, beer-bellied, wrestling t-shirt buying fan who populates a lot of the people who are booing Roman. I think those people feel judged by Roman. And I don't think Roman does anything to offset that perception. And I think Roman can be a good heel, a very effective heel in the way that Chris Jericho is, in that Seth Rollins does a stellar job trying to turn the tide. Fans want to cheer Seth, and Seth is successful at getting a lot of those fans to boo him for the fun of it, because it's fun to be at a show and have a reason to boo what people are saying. Same thing with Chris Jericho. So I think there's tons of money in Roman Reigns being a heel for a few years before he gets to that stage where fans would embrace him as a babyface.
Well, I think, I don't see it happening in the near future. And also along with that, his mannerisms when he was working with AJ Styles, in particular in the first match they had, he kind of played it right down the middle, and there were some heelish moments in there where just the way he carries himself. That's naturally him, although he's just a very nice guy as a human being.
Some of the best heels in movies were really nice guys off screen, but they were cast a certain way because it fit what came across on camera.
I think it's more natural to him to be a heel, or it will be if they go that route. But I think, and he can be a heel, but to me, he has another level to go just from the connection to the people to be a money heel or a money baby, rather than just being a heel or being a baby, because there's a difference.